It's Monday morning and you have so much to do today. Your projects at work, groceries to buy after work, dinner to cook, people to see. You know what? Screw it. I'm out of here. Now you're lying on your couch, paralyzed by fear. You don't want to do any of that stuff. You start to wonder if you should just quit your job and move to a remote island. Breathe. Okay. What is happening? Anxiety isn't just a feeling. It's a reaction hardwired into your brain. Your ancestors evolved this response to keep you alive. And if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be sitting there thinking about quitting your job. But when the fight or flight response gets triggered for no good reason, then anxiety becomes a problem. So let's get to the bottom of it. Here's the science behind what happens in your brain when you're anxious. Part 1. Fight or flight. Let's go back in time to when humans were living in caves. Our brains have evolved alongside our bodies to help us survive. The fight or flight response is an example of this. When you faced a saber-toothed tiger, your sympathetic nervous system got activated. This part of your nervous system prepares your body to run away from danger. Your heart starts pounding, your muscles tense up, your breathing quickens. All of these changes make sure that your body can run faster and live to see another day. If you didn't have this response, you would have been saber-toothed tiger steak in no time. This response is controlled by your brainstem, which is the oldest part of your brain. It's responsible for essential functions like breathing and keeping you alive. It controls the fight or flight response without you even realizing it. But what does this have to do with you and your Monday morning? Well, your brainstem doesn't really differentiate between a saber-toothed tiger and an actual threat, like getting passed over for a promotion at work. It also doesn't distinguish between physical danger and emotional stress. So when you think about all the things you have to do, your brain interprets that as a threat, just like it would a saber-toothed tiger. Your brain tells you to fight the stress by doing everything you can to overcome it or flight by running away from it. In this case, that means you either complete all those tasks or escape by throwing yourself on your couch and binge-watching Netflix. Sometimes this response is helpful. Let's say you need to meet a deadline. Your brain's fight or flight response helps you focus on the task at hand and ignore everything else. That way you can finish in time. But if you're not able to turn off that response, then it's not so helpful. You might find yourself worrying about meeting deadlines long after you've finished the task. So what exactly happens in your brain when you feel anxious? Let's take a closer look. Part 2. Amygdala. Let's head a little higher in your brain to the limbic system. Here we meet the amygdala. It's like a little brain within a brain that's responsible for processing emotions, especially fear. When you feel anxious, the amygdala activates the fight or flight response by sending signals to your brainstem. Think of it as the alarm system of your brain. If it detects a threat, it sounds the alarm. But sometimes the alarm goes off when there's no real danger. For example, when you think about a past experience where you felt humiliated, your amygdala may trigger the fight or flight response even though you're safe. This happens because your amygdala doesn't really understand that past and present are different. To it, they're both happening right now. So how do you stop your brain's alarm system from going off when there's no saber-toothed tiger around? One way is through exposure therapy. It's by exposing yourself to the source of your anxiety in a safe environment. You can learn to control your amygdala and reduce your overall anxiety. Part 3. Hippocampus. Right next door to the amygdala is the hippocampus. It's important for memory, and it works closely with the amygdala. When you're anxious, the hippocampus helps your amygdala decide whether the threat is real or imagined. It gathers information from the other parts of your brain to determine if you need to be afraid. For example, if you smell something unpleasant, your olfactory cortex sends a signal to the hippocampus. Then the hippocampus relays that signal to the amygdala, which decides whether the smell is from a saber-toothed tiger or just some dirty socks. But when you're super stressed out, your hippocampus can't do its job very well. It's like when you retrying to study for a test, but you so nervous that you QA on focus. Your hippocampus essentially shuts down, which means that your amygdala can't get the help it needs to calm you down. Luckily, there are ways to improve your working memory and reduce your anxiety. One way is through mindfulness meditation. It teaches you to focus on the present moment without judgment. That way you can calm down your hippocampus and take control of your anxiety. Part 4. Prefrontal cortex. Now let's travel to the most evolved part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. This area is responsible for decision-making, concentration, and social behavior. It's like the CEO of your brain. When you're anxious, your prefrontal cortex tries to calm down the emotional centers of your brain, the amygdala and the hippocampus. It does this by sending signals to your brainstem. Basically, it's trying to tell your brain to chill out. But sometimes the prefrontal cortex can't control the lower centers of your brain. It's like when you're trying to concentrate on a task, but your amygdala is freaking out because you just remembered you have to give a presentation in front of your boss. The prefrontal cortex is also affected by stress hormones. When you feel anxious, your body releases a bunch of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones can interfere with the connections in your prefrontal cortex, making it harder to concentrate and make decisions. That's why you might find it hard to focus on your work when you're anxious. Your prefrontal cortex needs a lot of energy to function properly. But when you're stressed out, your body uses up that energy on the fight or flight response. So basically, your brain's CEO is running on fumes. There are a few ways to help your prefrontal cortex cope with stress. One is through aerobic exercise. Exercise releases endorphins that can improve your mood and reduce anxiety. Also helps to build resilience against future stress. Another way is through yoga. Yoga combines physical postures, breathing exercises, and meditation. These practices can help you relax and focus on the present moment. They also promote neuroplasticity, which is the ability of your brain to change and adapt. Part 5. The future of anxiety research. We've come a long way in understanding what happens in your brain when you're anxious, but there's still a lot to learn. Researchers are using new technologies to map the brain activity of people with anxiety disorders. They're also studying how genetics and environmental factors contribute to anxiety. This research is helping to develop new treatments for anxiety and other mental health conditions. One of the most promising areas of research is in neurofeedback. Neurofeedback is a type of therapy that teaches you to control your brain activity. By providing feedback on your brain activity in real time, you can learn to regulate your emotions and reduce anxiety. Another exciting development is in the use of virtual reality. VR technology can create realistic simulations of situations that trigger anxiety. With this tech, you can practice coping mechanisms in a safe and controlled environment. Hey, thanks for sticking around until the end of this video. If you found it helpful, please like and share it with your friends. And if you'd like to learn more about what happens in your brain, check out this playlist right here. And remember, you can always find the references and studies used in this video in the description below. See you next time.